Can someone make this whole getting a job after college make sense? I'm graduating from Texas A&M University with a really high GPA. I've had an internship, I've had jobs, I have a lot of social media experience, I worked with brands, I'm pretty broad, I've done so much. I've been involved, I've worked my way through college. I'm graduating with honors, and I've applied to over 100 jobs and I can't get anything. And it's not like I'm applying for one specific kind of job. I'm going broad. And I had a couple interviews on Thursday, and I thought it went well. You know, my personality is great, great for sales, right? I've got the good GPA, I've got the work ethic, I've got it all right, but I cannot get a job to save my life. Spending 8 grand a semester to go to a very good school to not even be able to get a job once I graduate, I have nothing lined up. And it's really like overwhelming because it's like, wait, what am I supposed to do? And I'm not being stingy saying, oh, I'm only applying to certain jobs with certain salaries. No, I'm really trying to be broad. I just don't get it. Like, what's wrong? Is it something with me? Because I'm going to tell you for a fact, whatever job hires me won't regret it. I have a work ethic like no other. I bought a brand new car at 19 because I wanted it so bad. I have worked hard for everything I've ever wanted in my life. I don't let rejection, I don't let failure, I don't let any of that stop me. I graduate 2 months from tomorrow. I got nothing lined up. Nothing. I get rejection emails on the daily. No reason why. And I see on TV with the politics saying, oh, we got so many jobs. There's so many jobs for people. Even when I tried to find a serving job last year, I couldn't get one. Yet I got 6 years of experience. Try not to have a mental breakdown crying, but it just makes you wonder, like, are you good enough and are you going to find a job at all? You know, a job after college makes sense. I'm graduating.
College is a scam unless you go for a specialized degree like lawyer, doctor, nurse, engineer, things that people really need out here in society, right? But it really is a scam, you know. When I hear people saying that they've went to college for all these years, 4 years, and they can't find a job, I always ask them, what degree? What degree? What did you go there for? Right? Because I think at the end of it all, that does matter. But there's a lot of other elements that plays into why you can't get a job after college, right? And my speculation is one, it's nepotism, right? It's nepotism. I think a lot of these jobs post on job boards just to say that, hey, you know, we're looking for new talent. But think about it. If you work inside of a company and you've been there for a few years, for a good 5 or 6 months, it's so much easier to move up within the company, right? It only makes sense for them to look at someone who's already inside of the company, right? And that's why I always say that it's very important to build relationships with people, networking, right? Because you just never know down the line when you may need them. As I look back on it, I've only had like two real jobs, right? And the two real jobs I ever had, and when I say real jobs, I mean jobs with benefits. These two jobs, I always got these jobs because I knew someone, right? I didn't know it at the time that was called nepotism. It was that, you know, I knew someone, they got me on, and it was like, boom, you know. And as I gotten older, I see that it's not what you know, it's who you know. Okay. It's all about who you know. And it's so much easier to get a job if you know someone. Okay. The next thing I would say is that while you're in school, right? And it's going to be outside of what your parents are going to tell you, but the truth of the matter is, while you're in school, you need to be building your credit, right? You have to have great credit when you come out of school, okay? You need to be building your credit, and you also need to have an LLC, right? This is your backup plan. When you graduate college, you should have a 750 credit score. Okay. Now that's gonna sound crazy with me saying this because no one else is gonna tell you this. But look at the economy that we're in, right? You can't just rely on a college degree these days. You have to have something else under your belt, something else to fall back on. Okay. And at least if you can't find a job and you do have good credit, well, that means you have leverage, right? You need to be building your personal credit and your business credit. I'm not going to go into details on how to do all that. There's plenty of videos out here that shows you how to build personal credit and business credit, right? You know, if you chat GP that and look at the advantages of doing your personal credit and building your business credit, it's so many advantages, okay? The next thing I would say that learn sales, right? Unfortunately, the way the job market is, it has forced a lot of people to become entrepreneurs. And from what I know from experience is that sales is a low barrier entry. Okay. If you can't get no other job, you can definitely get a sales job. Whether you're selling cell phones, cars, insurance, you can get a sales job. Okay. Just like with everything, it takes a little work. But I know for a fact, once you learn sales, it can literally take you from zero to hero overnight. Prime example. And last year, right, I'm 46 now. When I was like 44, I believe, 44, 45, I landed a sales job with a roofing company. I wasn't actually putting the roofs on, but I was the sales rep. And these were warm leads. Warm leads mean that they know we're coming to their home to potentially sell them a roof, right? Initially, when I got into this business, I never knew how much a roof costs, right? I never knew how much a roof costs, but I learned real quickly that this company I was working for, their roofing system was some of the most expensive roofing systems in the country. And I'm looking like, man, there's no way possible someone in Louisiana is gonna buy a $50,000, $60,000 roof from me when they can go down the street and get one for $20,000, $30,000. Okay. But needless to say, once I learned the sales system, I practiced sales, I looked at all the videos, I became the top selling rep that February, right? And I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, wow, there's people out here who would actually buy a $50,000, $60,000 roofing system when they could easily go down the street and get one for cheaper. And that's when I learned that the power of sales can change your life. Okay. So what I'm trying to tell you is that before you leave college, right, you're going to have to do a little extra work with getting your credit together, building some business credit, some personal credit, learning sales, because you may need these skills when you leave college, right? The story that she just said, this is the same story that has been going on for decades and decades, right? And college is a scam. It's a scam, right? But if you learn how to play the game and learn some other skills and prepare for the worst, it won't seem so bad, right? Another thing I want to say is also, you know, if you can't find a job, you may have to create a job. And how you create a job is look for things that problems that people are having. Okay. Just look around you, like what problems are people having, right? Um, I guess it's like that's how the trash system was started. I guess people in the neighborhood were like, wow, I mean, this trash is on our curb for days and a week at a time. Someone needs to come up with a system that's gonna pick up all the trash in the neighborhood. I'm pretty sure that's how that idea was started, right? A lot of ideas are started from necessity. Okay, so you can't find a job, you may have to create a job by looking at the problems around you. Okay, another thing that you can do, right? I'm just trying to help. I'm just trying to help. But another thing you can do is you can teach yourself how to trade stock futures. Me myself, I've taught myself how to trade stock futures. It's definitely a skill set that you can learn that'll feed you for life, but it's not easy. There is a learning curve, just like with anything. But you have to look down the line, 5, 10 years, 20 years down the line, that if someone took you fishing versus showed you how to fish, you can feed yourself for a lifetime. And that's what trading will provide for you. Okay. So these are just some things that could potentially help you out, because listen, the job market is trash out here. It's trash out here. And her story is the same story that a lot of people her age is going through. Okay. So And we're not going to even talk about the race and the gender aspect of it, because that's a whole nother can of worms, okay? So, hey, good luck on your journey, and peace out. See you later.